AITA for sleeping with my sister's husband. I'm a 29-year-old woman, and I was caught in a complicated situation that ruined my relationship with my sister. She is 31. Recently, she caught me sleeping with her husband, and now she doesn't even talk to me. I truly believe I'm not the only one responsible for what happened, but I don't have someone to ask for an unbiased opinion on whether I'm the asshole here. Before everything happened, I had noticed some strange and questionable behavior from my brother-in-law, who's 33. I tried to bring it up with sister because I was concerned for her well-being, but she just brushed off my worries. That situation left me feeling unsure about what to do next. My sister is a flight attendant, so she is away from home. Before everything happened, my brother-in-law lost his job and was feeling depressed. During one of my sister's frequent trips, she asked me to keep her husband company. She trusted me and didn't believe the warnings I had given her about his behavior toward me. I thought I was helping their marriage and giving them a chance to reconnect. Unfortunately, as we spent more time together, our bond deepened and we crossed a line that should never have been crossed. One night, after both of us had been drinking, he started to open up about the struggles in their marriage and how things had been rough for a while. He was upset and crying, and I just wanted to comfort him. One thing led to another, and we ended up doing something completely unthinkable. We both got so intoxicated that we fell asleep, and when I woke up, I realized the gravity of what had happened. Suddenly, my sister was there, screaming and hitting us, asking how we could betray her. She shouted, "We're sisters. I trusted you." She wouldn't even let me explain before kicking me out of the house. After that, she didn't speak to me, and she was filed for divorce. Our parents took her side, saying that I violated every family moral. I do know that there is my mistake, but I also feel like there are many factors at play here, and I'm not the only one to blame for the breakdown of their marriage. I question why my sister didn't address the issues in her relationship and why she left her husband for my care without setting any clear boundaries. I feel guilty and remorseful for what I did, but I also believe that my sister and her husband had their own problems that contributed to this situation. It doesn't seem fair to blame me and place everything just on me when the issues existed long before I got involved. I understand my sister's anger and hurt, and I take responsibility for my actions and try to make amends. But I think it is also important for her to recognize her role in this situation. If we're going to rebuild trust and repair our relationship, we need to have open and honest communication from both sides. And I will understand your harsh criticism. Yes, I messed up and I admit it. After reflecting deeply on my actions and getting advice from others, I've realized just how much I hurt my sister. I genuinely regret what I did and recognize that I was in the wrong. There's no excuse for my behavior, and I realize I was trying to justify my actions because facing the reality was just too painful. Then I finally found the courage to reach out and apologize to my sister. Sadly, despite my sincere efforts, she not only refused to talk to me but also blocked me on all communication platforms. It's incredibly upsetting to see her take such drastic measures. I truly want her forgiveness and desperately want her back in my life. But I understand that I can't force her to reconcile or forgive me on my terms. I asked my friends and family for the advice on how to handle this situation, and it seems the best course of action for now is to respect her boundaries and give her the space she clearly needs. After that, I continued to reflect on my actions and have started looking into therapy to address the underlying issues that led to my hurtful behavior. I found some online resources and plan to call soon to get started. I'm committed to personal growth and becoming a better person, no matter what happens with my sister. I won't give up on trying to reconnect with her. I've also reached out to some mutual friends and family members, hoping they might help bridge the gap between my sister and me. And, of course, I know they need to respect her boundaries and not get involved in our personal issues. Unfortunately, my ex-brother-in-law has refused to take any of my calls throughout all of this. I heard from my mom that he told her I initiated everything, got him drunk, and forced myself on him. That is the complete opposite of the truth. I can't believe he could say that and did it to me after all the support I gave him. I must really look like a fool, huh? The pain of not being able to talk to my sister is crushing, but I was determined to learn from my mistakes and make amends in any way I can. I kept working on myself and strived to become someone who deserves her forgiveness, no matter how long it takes. To say the past few months have been insane is an understatement. It feels like my entire world has collapsed. While I was holding on to hope that one day my sister will be open to talking again, I realized she might never want to speak to me again. Regardless, I was committed to growing, learning, and reflecting on my actions, understanding that healing and reconciliation are processes that can't be rushed or forced. I hope my sister can see my remorse and my efforts to change. I completely recognize that I was wrong, and my behavior is, I don't deserve to have my sister in my life, and I feel like a terrible person. Then, surprisingly, my sister unblocked me and expressed a desire for closure and personal healing. It seems she has reached a point where she needs to address the past to move forward, but she made it clear that she doesn't want to continue our relationship. We had an open and honest discussion about the pain and hurt that has built up over time. It was an emotional and challenging conversation, but it allowed us to express our feelings and seek some form of closure. During our talk, my sister explained that she has made the difficult decision to cut off our relationship. She needs to focus on her healing and well-being, believing that staying connected to me would only hinder her progress. Accepting this was heartbreaking, but I understand and respect her choice. In that conversation, I took the chance to sincerely apologize for the pain I caused her. I acknowledged my past mistakes and expressed deep regret for my actions. While I hoped for a different outcome, I realized that my sister's healing journey is only her, and it may not include me. Moving forward, I will continue to reflect from this experience. I have come to understanding the impact of my actions and the importance of personal growth and self-reflection. It's vital for me to learn from this and strive to be a better person, even if it means accepting that my sister doesn't want a relationship with me anymore. Although it's painful to lose such a close bond, I will respect my sister's wishes and give her the space she needs to heal and move forward. I'll keep working on myself, seeking personal growth and understanding, and ensuring I don't repeat the mistakes of the past. This experience has taught me different important things, including empathy, forgiveness, and respecting the boundaries of others. I have never been the person who you could think may create such problems, and before judging, imagine being in my shoes. I'm grateful for the chance to have had this conversation with my sister, as it has given me a deeper understanding of the consequences of my actions and the significance of growth and healing in relationships. I've lost my sister and the respect of those closest to me. But through it all, she is the victim, not me. I think I deserve this. So, am I the asshole for that? AITA for randomly breaking up with my BF and blocking him? 27F. Recently broke up with my boyfriend, 24M, after dating him for over a year. When we first got together, I really believed he was the one, even though he was a bit younger than me. He was kind, good-looking, and we clicked right from the start. It felt like everything fell into place, and I fell hard for him. To give you some background, he's from Egypt and I'm from Canada. We met while I was on vacation in Cairo. Since I work remotely, traveling wasn't an issue for me, so I didn't mind the distance. Plus, he's in the military, and his deployments last about 1 to 2 months at a time. Whenever he had time off, I'd fly over to Egypt and spend a month or more with him until he was deployed again. So we spent all his free time together. He wasn't from a well-off family and had taken out a loan to help renovate his family's home. Money was tight for him, but that wasn't a big deal for me. I covered my flights, brought gifts every time I visited, cooked for him. I'm a pretty good cook and even took care of groceries most of the time. He would handle the costs whenever we went out, and in the beginning, we went out a lot. Eventually, that started to slow down. Looking back, I see now I gave way more than I got, but at the time, I was so in love that I didn't really notice or care. We got along well, and I figured he was just struggling financially. Then, we started talking about marriage. He told everyone he wanted to marry me, his family, his friends. I even told him he didn't have to rush into it if he felt pressured, since his family is conservative and his culture can be too. I thought maybe he felt like he had to marry me because we were practically living together whenever he wasn't deployed. But he reassured me that he loved me deeply and really wanted to marry me. I believed him. But then things started getting strange. He'd suddenly flip out over random stuff like who was liking my Instagram photos or who I was following. Out of respect for him, I unfollowed almost every guy on my account. Still, he had issues with me following a coworker, and we nearly broke up on my birthday because of it. His jealousy was constant, popping up over the smallest things. I'd wake up to screenshots of things I'd commented on or liked years ago. But we'd always make up, and I'd let it slide. I know, red flag, but I was so in love. Later on, he even went out with his family to pick out a ring. Then, out of nowhere, he started acting distant, rude, and cold. I figured it was the pressure of the whole marriage thing and told him I didn't want to force him into it if he wasn't ready, because neither of us would be happy that way. That's when he admitted he wasn't ready to get married after all and didn't want to go through with it. So, we called off the engagement, and it stung since he'd already told everyone about it. But I moved on. We went on a vacation to the city where we first met, and he paid for the place we stayed. Again, I paid for my own flight. By this point, he had sold his car and paid off his debts, so he finally had some money. During this vacation, I noticed something off. His phone notification previews were turned off, which set off some alarms in my head, but I didn't say anything. Apart from that, things seemed fine. We visited his family again, and they were really nice to me. They seemed to like me a lot. After spending a week with them, we flew back, and I stayed with him for a few more weeks before heading back to Canada. Once I got home, though, he became more distant. He took forever to respond to my messages and seemed uninterested. I brought it up, and he said there was no need to be constantly talking since we'd been together for over a year and trusted each other. But I didn't like how his behavior had shifted so suddenly. After a few arguments, I told him he wasn't putting in the same effort anymore. He had always said he'd come to visit me in Canada, but he needed visa and hadn't even applied for it yet. He never offered to cover my tickets to visit him, even though he had the means now. He acted like I was attacking him and thought all our issues came down to money. I told him it wasn't about the money, it was about the effort. We didn't talk for a few days after that, and then suddenly, he became overly affectionate, which I found odd. After another argument, I can't even remember what sparked it, it started to feel suspicious. So I did a little Instagram stalking. I found out he was liking other girls' pictures during my birthday and even on our vacation. Remember, this is the same guy who nearly broke up with me over following a coworker. That's when everything clicked for me, and I realized he'd probably been cheating. I decided to end it and blocked him without any explanation. I'd already told him how I felt so many times before, and I didn't see the point in saying it all again. A couple of days later, I checked his Instagram, and of course, he was now following a bunch more girls. I know it might sound dumb, but that really confirmed everything for me. So, am I the asshole for blocking him and breaking up without explaining?